So in this video, we're going to talk more about slope, but this time we're going to talk about how to find slope from a formula. So we talked about how if I had a line, okay, and my line happened to have 2 points on it, that we can find the slope by trying to count. How do I get from this point? I could go up or down. In this case, I would need to go up and then over to get to this point. And we said that the slope, which we use the letter M to represent slope, is rise over run, or another way of thinking about it is the change in Y values divided by the change in X values. So if I think about labeling these points, so let's say that this point is x1 comma y1, and this point is x2 comma y2, and I'm going from this first point to the second point, then this distance here is going to be the difference between these two y values. So when we say change in y values, what we're really saying is y2 minus y1. And change in x, same thing, would be x2, where we end up, minus where we started. Now, you do not have to put the y2 first and the x2 first. If you wanted to write this as x1 minus, or as y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2, that's okay. You just have to make sure that the 2 and the 1 are in the same order on both the top and the bottom. But I always stick to doing it as y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. So let's try some examples. So, for example, find the slope of the line passing through the points. So this first one here, so I have the point 3 comma 8 and the point 7 comma negative 7. So the first thing I do is I like to label these so I know what is x1, what is x2, what is y1, what is y2. So remember, points in an ordered pair, the first one is the x value. So we're going to call this 3 here the x1 and this 7 the x2. And then the second points are the y values. So this is y1, the 8, and the negative 7 is y2. And then I'm going to plug into my formula. So slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So in this case, it's going to be negative 7 minus 8 divided by 7 minus 3. So negative 7 minus 8 is negative 15. 7 minus 3 is 4. And I can't simplify the 15 over 4 anymore, so I'm just going to leave it. But if I could simplify it, I would simplify it to be a smaller number. So let's try another one. Negative 9, negative 3, and so we'll use that same 7, negative 7 again. Okay, so again, this is x1, this is x2, this is y1, this is y2, and so my slope is going to be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So y2 minus y1 is going to be negative 7 minus, and we have to be a little careful, y1 is also negative. So it's going to be negative 7 minus negative 3 divided by x2 is 7 minus negative 9. So negative 7 minus negative 3, that's the same as negative 7 plus 3. So this is going to be negative 4. And 7 minus negative 9 is the same as 7 plus 9, which is 16. And then negative 4 over 16 we can reduce more. So it's going to reduce down into negative 1/4. And so you could put the negative out in front. You could also put the negative next with the top number. It doesn't matter. You could even put the negative with the bottom number. We just tend to stick it out in the front or with the top number.